Welcome to 50 Nights of Fright, where we are reviewing The Shining today. We're very excited. Jess, how are you feeling?
This is something I have been anticipating for a while. I'm very excited.
What are you two doing? Nothing.
We're filming 50 Nights of Fright.
Welcome to 50 Nights of Fright. I'm Tommy, joined with Hayden and Jess. On today's episode, we are covering Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. I'm a big Stephen King fan.
Yes.
Of course, this is based on the novel,
Yes.
The Shining. Had either of you read the novel or experienced it in another way?
I have not read the novel, but I unfortunately did watch Stephen King's version of the film first.
Okay.
And that was a mistake.
It's a lot more accurate to the
To the
book.
book, yes. But the 1980 version of the movie is definitely much more enjoyable.
I'll
Okay.
tell you what else was a mistake. I actually saw an opera version of The Shining, and it was
Not the same.
a
Okay.
mistake. It was
Well-
a mistake.
Well, there's something to be said about Stanley Kubrick's style. He's
Yes.
definitely one of those filmmakers that knows exactly what he wants and how he wants to portray it. And The Shining is definitely the best example of that.
Absolutely.
So, what did we each think of the film?
I am a firm believer that is probably, if not the best horror movie of all time. That's where my head's at with it.
Okay, all right, Jess?
It was, of course, going to be something I will rewatch for the rest of my life. I will watch it every year on around spooky season, no doubt.
There's just never been a horror movie that has stuck with me. I remember I watched this movie for the first time when I was like an older teenager, like 18, 19.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it, ever. I will never forget it.
Okay. Would either of you stay in a frozen-in hotel alone for, a few months?
Does it have a room 237 in it?
Well, maybe.
Oh, if so, absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Well, I would say, although I would not necessarily do the same exact situation for that long, I would love to visit the hotel personally.
Yeah.
I want to do it either on Halloween or on a birthday. I think that would be very, very cool.
All right. So, did we have any favorite moments in The Shining?
I'm not sure if I have a favorite moment specifically. I mean, Here's Jackie is a film novelty at this point. There's been so many adaptations of Here's Johnny and cartoons and other movies, and it's everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think for me, when you get down to how layered this movie is and how much depth this movie has, it's one of my favorite things. Like, for an example, they talk about how the movie was, the hotel was built in 1907, and then it was done in 1909, and they had to fight off Native Americans at the time.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch the movie really closely, there's hints at Native American stuff all throughout the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just layers on layers. I think that's my favorite thing.
I'd say my favorite thing was also kind of like a thing where after you watch it a while, you really notice, but it was the shift when he no longer is like, hey, I'll never hurt you, son. But when he shifts to, oh yeah, my son just got like hurt in this room, and I don't really care.
Yeah, he didn't have any real reaction.
Yeah.
Talk about acting. I mean, Jack Nicholson just destroyed that role.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the whole cast, I think, does an incredible job.
Oh,
Shelley
yeah.
Duvall,
Shelley Duvall.
I feel bad for her.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
That scene where she was walking backwards up the stairs, like begging for her life, while he was, man, that scene is unreal.
Yeah, that, of course, Scatman Crothers, he does a great job.
Even the kid who plays Danny just killed it in that role.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just perfect casting across the board.
Yes.
Kubrick really nailed
it.
every aspect of it. Of course, Stephen King, not the biggest fan of this version.
But they actually had beef for a little while over it, didn't they?
Yeah, King definitely just didn't really care for it. That's why he wanted to make his own version more accurate to the book, because the movie does lose some of King's intention. And it was about addiction, struggling, alcoholism, all of that. The movie doesn't really hit on all of those things. It, of course, mentions Jack's drinking problem.
The alcoholism, yeah, for sure.
But the book ends a little more a little more upbeat because Jack knows what he's doing at the end and he sacrifices himself, whereas in this version, he turns into a popsicle.
Something that is really interesting, the comparison between the book and the movie, I would say, is in the movie, if you really analyze it, like, you're kind of fighting to see a reason why Jack is like, okay, but he's really, like, not good from the jump as a dad or anything like that, even before The Shining.
He's definitely lost as a person before The Shining even happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and another thing that's interesting is he also has The Shining.
Yeah.
As well as Danny and all that. But the alcohol is apparently what brings out those episodes.
Yeah, because he found out that he had never actually stopped drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much foreshadowing in this movie too. Like there's the scene where he's at the bar and he's talking to the bartender and he makes that face, and then he at the end of the movie when he turns into a popsicle, he has the exact same facial expression.
Right.
There's a YouTube video who analyzes, like he does like a frame by frame.
Okay.
It's the exact same face. And the eyes are in the same spot and everything. It's fantastic. There's so much foreshadowing, so much depth and so many layers.
There's a lot of different things that you could really deep dive into The Shining on and just really make a career out of dissecting this movie by itself. I take it we all enjoyed the movie.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, so if we were to give it a rating on a scale of A through F, what are we giving it?
I'd say A rating.
Yeah.
For sure.
I was gonna say A+.
I have to rewatch it simply just because there's so much to dissect, and it's one of those.
Yes,
deep dive
I've
films.
watched this movie many a time, and every single time I watch it, it never feels like it's getting old.
Right.
I will claim that it's one of the best horror movies ever made. Yeah, that's my claim for it.
Right.
Okay. Thanks so much for joining us on this episode of 50 Nights of Fright, where we covered The Shining. If you enjoy the movie, please let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure to tune in tomorrow, where we are covering Sam Raimi's The Evil Dead.